people who don't want to disclose the truth or people with something to hide.
The locations of FEMA concentration camps in AMERICAT. Here are over 800 prison camps in the United States, all fully operational and ready to receive prisoners. They are all staffed and even surrounded by full-time guards. But they are all empty. These camps are to be operated by FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, should martial law need to be implemented in the United States, and all it would take is a presidential signature on a proclamation and the Attorney General's signature on a warrant to which a list of names is attached. Ask yourself if you really want to be on the list. The Rex 84 program was established on the reasoning that if a mass exodus of illegal aliens crossed the Mexican-US border, they would be quickly rounded up and detained in detention centers by FEMA. Rex 84 allowed many military bases to be closed down and to be turned into prisons. Operation Cable Splicer and Garden Plot are the two sub-programs which will be implemented once the Rex 84 program is initiated for its proper purpose. Garden Plot is the program to control the population. Cable Splicer is the program for an orderly takeover of the state and local governments by the federal government. FEMA is the executive arm of the coming police state and thus will head up all operations. The presidential executive orders already listed on the Federal Register also are part of the legal framework for this operation. The camps all have railroad facilities as well as roads leading to and from the detention facilities. Many also have an airport nearby. The majority of the camps can house a population of 20,000 prisoners. Currently, the largest of these facilities is just outside of Fairbanks, Alaska. The Alaskan facility is a massive mental health facility and can hold approximately 2 million people. Now let's review the justification for any actions taken. Executive orders associated with FEMA that would suspend the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. These executive orders have been on record for nearly 30 years and could be enacted by the stroke of a presidential pen. Executive Order 10,990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Executive Order 10,995 allows the government to seize and control the communication media. Executive Order 10,997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels and minerals. Executive Order 10,998 allows the government to seize all means of transportation, including personal cars, trucks or vehicles of any kind, and total control over all highways, seaports, and waterways. Executive Order 10,999 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms. Executive Order 11,000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Executive Order 11,001 allows the government to take over all health, education and welfare functions. Executive Order 11,002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. Executive Order 11,003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Executive Order 11,004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. Executive Order 11,005 allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11,051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning, and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis. Executive Order 11,310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in executive orders, to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislative liaison, to control all aliens, to operate penal and correctional institutions, and to advise and assist the President. Executive Order 11,049 assigns emergency preparedness function to federal departments and agencies, consolidating 21 operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period. Executive Order 11,921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit and the flow of money in the United States financial institution in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has broad powers in every aspect of the nation. General Frank Solsto, chief of FEMA's Civil Security Division, stated in a 1983 conference that he saw FEMA's role as a new frontier in the protection of individual and governmental leaders from assassination, and of civil and military installations from sabotage and/or attack, as well as prevention of dissident groups from gaining access to the United States opinion, or a global audience in times of crisis. FEMA's powers were consolidated by President Carter to incorporate the National Security Act of 1947 allows for the strategic relocation of industries, services, government and other essential economic activities, and to rationalize the requirements for manpower, resources and production facilities. 1950 Defense Production Act gives the President sweeping powers over all aspects of the economy. Act of August 29, 1916 authorizes the Secretary of the Army, in time of war, to take possession of any transportation system for transporting troops, material, or any other purpose related to the emergency. International Emergency Economic Powers Act enables the President to seize the property of a foreign country or national. These powers were transferred to FEMA in a sweeping consolidation in 1979. Where are these camps, you ask? Alabama Arpalica Military Compound, either in or very near town. Alicevel WWII German POW Camp, capacity 15,000 feet. McClellan Anniston, opposite side of town from Army Depot. Maxwell AFB Montgomery Civilian Prison Camp, established under Operation Garden Plot, currently operating with support staff and small inmate population. Talladega Federal Prison Satellite Camp. Alaska Wilderness, east of Anchorage. No roads, air and railroad access only. Estimated capacity of 500,000. Elmendorf AFB, northeast area of Anchorage, far end of base. Garden Plot Facility. Fort Wainwright, southeast of Fairbanks. The largest of these facilities is a massive mental health facility and can hold approximately 2 million people. Operation Garden Plot Facility. Arizona Fort Huachuca, 20 miles from Mexican border, 30 miles from Nogales. Rex 84 facility. Pinal County on the Gila River WWII Japanese Detention Camp. May be renovated. Yuma County, Colorado River, site of former Japanese detention camp near Proving Grounds. This site was completely removed in 1990 according to some reports. Phoenix Federal Prison Satellite Camp. Main federal facility expanded. Florence WWII Prison Camp, now renovated, operational with staff and 400 prisoners, operational capacity of 3,500. Wickenburg Airport is ready for conversion, total capacity unknown. Davis Monthan AFB Tucson, fully staffed and presently holding prisoners. Sedona site, a possible on base. Arkansas Fort Chaffee near Fort Smith, Arkansas, has new runway for aircraft, new camp facility with cap of 40,000 prisoners. Pine Bluff Arsenal, this location also is the repository for BZ nerve agent, which causes sleepiness, dizziness, stupor, admitted uses for civilian control. Jerome Chico Drew County's site of WWII Japanese camps. Rower-Dashta County site of WWII Japanese camps. Blytheville AFB closed their base, now being used as camp. New wooden barracks have been constructed at this location. Classic decorations, guard towers, barbed wire, high fences. Bearville FEMA facility located east of Eureka Springs off Highway 62. Omaha, northeast of Bearville near Missouri state line, on Highway 65 south of Oldwood Processing Plant. Possible crematory facility. California Vandenberg AFB Rex 84 facility, located near Lompoc and Santa Maria. Interment facility is located near the ocean side, close to Space Launch Complex No. 6, also called Slick 6. The launch site has had a flawless failure record and is rarely used. Norton AFB closed base, now staffed with according to some sources. Tule Lake area of wildlife refuge, accessible by unpaved road, just inside Madoc County. Fort Ord closed in 1994. This facility is now an urban warfare training center for the United States and foreign troops, and may have some POW-CI enclosures. 29 Palms Marine Base, birthplace of the infamous "Would you shoot American citizens?" quiz. New camps being built on Back 40. Oakdale Rex 84 camp, capable of holding at least 20,000 people. 90 miles east of San Francisco. Terminal Island, Long Beach, located next to naval shipyards operated by Chi-Com shipping interests. Federal prison facility located here. Possible deportation point. Feet Irwin FEMA facility near Barstow. Base is designated inactive but has staffed camp. McClellan AFB facility capable for 30,000-35,000. Sacramento Army Depot. No specific information available at this time. Mather AFB road to facility is blocked off by cement barriers and a stop sign. Sign states area is restricted. As of 1997 there were barbed wire fences pointing inward, a row of stadium lights pointed toward an empty field, etc. Black boxes on poles may have been cameras. Colorado Trinidad WWII German-Italian camp being renovated. Grenada Prairies County WWII Japanese internment camp. Feet Carson along Route 115 near Cannon City, Connecticut and Delaware. No information available. Does not mean that there aren't hidden camps that have not been found or exposed yet. Florida Avon Park Air Force Gunnery Range. Avon Park has an on-base correctional facility, which was a former WWII detention camp. Camp Chrome Duché Detention Interrogation Center, Rex 84 facility. Eglin AFB. This base is over 30 miles long, from Pensacola to Highway 331 in Defuniak Springs. High-capacity facility, presently manned and populated with some prisoners. Pensacola Federal Prison Camp. Everglades. It is believed that a facility may be carved out of the wilds here. Georgia Feet Benning located east of Columbus near Alabama state line. Rex 84 site prisoners brought in via Lawson Army Airfield. Feet McPherson. The United States Force Command multiple reports that this will be the national headquarters and coordinating center for foreign untroop movement and detainee collection. Feet Gordon west of Augusta. No specific information available at this time. Enabla Dooley County manned, staffed FEMA prison on Route 230, no prisoners. Oglethorpe Macon County, facility is located 5 miles from Montezuma, 3 miles from Oglethorpe. This FEMA prison has no staff and no prisoners. Morgan Calhoun County, FEMA facility is fully manned and staffed, no prisoners. Camilla Mitchell County, south of Albany. This FEMA facility is located on Mount Zion Road approximately 5.7 miles south of Camilla. Unmanned, no prisoners, no staff. Hawkinsville Wilcox County, 5 miles east of town, fully manned and staffed but no prisoners. Located on Fire Road 100 Upper River Road. Abil south of Hawkinsville on the United States Route 129 south of town off Route 280 near Ocmulgee River. FEMA facility is staffed but without prisoners. McRae Telfire County 1.5 miles west of McRae on Highway 134, 8th Street. Facility is on Irwinton Avenue off 8th Street, manned and staffed, no prisoners. Fort Gildan south side of Atlanta FEMA designated detention facility. Fort Stewart Savannah area FEMA designated detention facility. Hawaii Halawa Heights area crematory facility located in hills above city. Area is marked as a State Department of Health laboratory. Barbers Point NAS. There are several military areas that could be equipped for detention deportation. Honolulu Detention Transfer Facility at the Honolulu Airport, similar in construction to the one in Oklahoma, pentagon-shaped building where airplanes can taxi up to. Idaho Meduca Jerome County's WWII Japanese American Internment Facility possibly under renovation. Clearwater National Forest near Lolo Pass just miles from the Montana state line near Moose Creek. This unmanned facility is reported to have a nearby airfield. Wilderness area's possible location. No specific information available at this time. Illinois Marseilles located on the Illinois River off Interstate 80 on Highway 6. It is a relatively small facility with a cap of 1,400 prisoners. Though it is small, it is designed like prison facilities with barred windows, but the real smoking gun is the presence of military vehicles. Being located on the Illinois River, it is possible that prisoners will be brought in by water as well as by road and air. This facility is approximately 75 miles west of Chicago. National Guard training area nearby. Scott AFB barbed wire prisoner enclosure reported to exist just off base. More info needed, as another facility on base is believed to exist. Pekin. This federal satellite prison camp is also on the Illinois River, just south of Peoria. It supplements the federal penitentiary in Marion, which is equipped to handle additional population outside on the grounds. Chunit AFB rental, near Champaign-Urbana. This closed base had WWI-era barracks that were condemned and torn down, but the medical facility was upgraded and additional fencing put up in the area. More information is needed. Marion Federal Penitentiary and Satellite Prison Camp inside Crab Orchard Nail Wildlife Refuge. Manned, staffed, populated fully. Greenfield 2 Federal Correctional Satellite Prison Camps serving Marion populated as above. Shawnee National Forest, Pope County. This area has seen heavy traffic of foreign military equipment and troops via Illinois Central Railroad, which runs through the area. Suspected location is unknown, but may be close to Vienna and Shawnee Correctional Centers, located 6 miles west of Jackson Springs. Savannah Army Depot and W area of state on Mississippi River. Lincoln, Sheridan, Menard, Pontiac, Galesburg State Prison facilities equipped for major expansion and close or adjacent to highways and railroad tracks. Kankakee Abandoned Industrial Area on west side of town RT-17 and Main designated as FEMA detention site. Equipped with water tower, incinerator, a small train yard behind it, and the rear of the facility is surrounded by barbed wire facing inwards. Indianapolis Marion County Amtrak Railcar Repair Facility closed, controversial site of a major alleged detention processing center. Although some sources state that this site is a red herring, photographic and video evidence suggests otherwise. This large facility contains large 3 to 4 inch gas mains to large furnaces, crematoria, helicopter landing pads, railheads for prisoners, red-blue-green zones for classifying processing incoming personnel, one-way turnstiles, barracks, towers, high fences with razor wire, etc. Personnel with government clearance, who are friendly to the Patriot movement, took a guided tour of the facility to confirm the site. This site is located next to a closed refrigeration plant facility. Fort Benjamin Harrison located in the northeast part of Indianapolis. This base has been decommissioned from active use, but portions are still ideally converted to hold detainees. Helicopter landing areas still exist for prisoners to be brought in by air, land and rail. Crown Point across street from County Jail, former hospital. One wing presently being used for County Work Release Program, 80% of facility still unused. Possible FEMA detention center or holding facility. Camp Betterberry facility is converted to hold prisoners, and boasts 2 active compounds presently configured for minimum security detainees. Located just west of Interstate 65 near Edinburgh, south of Indianapolis. Terre Haute Federal Correctional Institution, Satellite Prison Camp and Death Facility. Equipped with crematoria reported to have a capacity of 3,000 people a day. FEMA designated facility located here. Fort Wayne, the city located in northeast Indiana, has a FEMA designated detention facility, accessible by air, road and nearby rail. Kingsbury, this closed military base is adjacent to a state fish and wildlife preserve. Part of the base is converted to an industrial park, but the southern portion of this property is still used. It is bordered on the south by railroad, and is staffed with some foreign-speaking troops. A local police officer, who was hunting and camping close to the base in the game preserve, was accosted, roughed up, and warned by the English-speaking unit commander to stay away from the area. It was suggested to the officer that the welfare of his family would depend on his silence. Located just southeast of LaPorte. Jasper Pulaski Wildlife Area Youth Corrections Farm located here. Facility is closed, but is still staffed and being renovated. Total capacity unknown. Grissom AFB, this closed airbase still handles a lot of traffic, and has a state-owned prison compound on the southern part of the facility. Unicor. Jefferson Proving Ground, Southern Indiana. This facility was an active base with test firing occurring daily. Portions of the base have been opened to create an industrial park, but other areas are still highly restricted. A camp is believed to be located downrange. Facility is equipped with an airfield and has a nearby rail line. Newport Army Depot near gas storage facility. Secret meetings were held here in 1998 regarding the addition of the Kankakee River watershed to the Heritage Rivers Initiative. Hammond large enclosure identified in FEMA designated. Iowa. No information available. Does not mean that there aren't hidden camps that have not been found or exposed yet. Kansas Leavenworth, the United States Marshals Fed Holding Facility, the United States Penitentiary, Federal Prison Camp, McConnell Air Force Base. Federal Death Penalty Facility. Concordia WWII German POW camp used to exist at this location, but there's no facility there at this time. Fort Riley, just north of Interstate 70, Airport, near City of Manhattan. El Dorado Federal Prison converted into forced labor camp, Unicor Industries. Topeka-80 acres has been converted into a temporary holding camp. Kentucky Ashland Federal Prison Camp in eastern Kentucky near the Ohio River. Louisville FEMA Detention Facility, located near restricted area of the United States Naval Ordnance Plant. Military Airfield located at facility, which is on south side of city. Lexington FEMA Detention Facility, National Guard base with adjacent airport facility. Manchester Federal Prison Camp located inside Damboon National Forest. Fort Knox Detention Center, possibly located near Salt River, in restricted area of base. Local patriots advise that Black Special Forces and gray helicopters are occasionally seen in area. Land between the lakes. This area was declared unbiosphere, and is an ideal geographic location for detention facilities. Area is an isthmus extending out from Tennessee, between Lake Barkley on the east and Kentucky Lake on the west. Just scant miles from Fort Campbell in Tennessee. Louisiana Fort Polk. This is main base for troops and personnel, and a training center for the disarmament of America. Livingston WWII German-Italian internment camp being renovated, halfway between Baton Rouge and Hammond, several miles north of Interstate 12. Oakdale located on the United States Route 165 about 50 miles south of Alexandria, 2 federal detention centers just southeast of Fort Polk. Maine Holton WWII German internment camp in northern Maine, off the United States Route 1. Maryland, and D.C. Fort Meade halfway between the District of Criminals and Baltimore. More information is needed. Fort Detrick Biological Warfare Center for the NWO, located in Frederick, Massachusetts. Camp Edwards Otis AFB Cape Cod. This inactive base is being converted to hold many New Englander patriots. Capacity unknown. Fort Devens Active Detention Facility. More information is needed. Michigan Camp Grayling. Michigan Naval Guard Base has several confirmed detention camps, classic setup with high fences, razor wire, etc. Guard towers are very well built, sturdy. Multiple compounds within larger enclosures. Facility deep within forest area. Sire AFB Upper Peninsula south of Marquette. No specific information available at this time. Bay City classic enclosure with guard towers, high fence, and close to shipping port on Saginaw Bay, which connects to Lake Huron. Could be a deportation point to overseas via St. Lawrence Seaway. Southwest possibly Berrien County FEMA Detention Center. Lansing FEMA Detention Facility. Minnesota Duluth Federal Prison Camp Facility. Camp Ripley New Prison Facility. Mississippi. No information available. Does not mean that there aren't hidden camps that have not been found or exposed yet. Missouri Richards Tour AFB located in Grandview, near KCMO. A very large internment facility has been built on this base, and all base personnel are restricted from coming near it. Fort Leonard Wood situated in the middle of Mark Twain National Forest in Pulaski County. This site has been known for summon training, also home to the United States Army Urban Warfare Training School STEM Village. Warsaw. Confirmed report of a large concentration camp facility. Montana Malmstrom AFB an aircraft group stationed here, and possibly a detention facility. Nebraska Scottsbluff WWII German POW camp renovated. Northwest, northeast corners of state FEMA detention facilities. More information is needed. South central part of state. Many old WWII sites, some may be renovated. Nevada Elko 10 miles south of town. Wells Camp is located in the O'Neill Basin area, 40 miles north of Wells, past Thousand Springs, west off Highway 93 for 25 miles. Pershing County Camp is located at I-80 mile marker 112, south side of the highway, about a mile back on the county road and then just off the road about 3-4 miles. Winnemucca Battle Mountain area at the base of the mountains. Nellis Air Force Range northwest from Las Vegas on Route 95. Nellis AFB is just north of Las Vegas on Highway 604. Stillwater Naval Air Station east of Reno. No specific information available at this time. New Hampshire Vermont Northern New Hampshire near Lake Francis. No specific information available at this time. New Jersey Fort Dix McGuire AFB possible deportation point for detainees. Lots of pictures taken of detention compounds and posted on internet. This camp is well known. Facility is now complete and ready for occupancy. New Mexico Fort Bliss. This base actually straddles Texas state line. Just south of Alamogordo, Fort Bliss has thousands of acres for people who refuse to go with the new order. Holloman AFB La Gordo, home of the German Luftwaffe in America, major and base. New facility being built on this base, according to recent visitors. Many former USAF buildings have been torn down by the busy and rapidly growing German military force located here. Fort Stanton currently being used as a youth detention facility approximately 35 miles north of Ruidoso, New Mexico. Not a great deal of information concerning the Lordsburg location. White Sands Missile Range currently being used as a storage facility for United Nations vehicles and equipment. Observers have seen this material brought in on the White Sands Rail Spur in Rio Grande, New Mexico, about 30 miles from the Texas, New Mexico border. New York Feet Drum 2 compounds, Rex 84 Detention Camp and FEMA Detention Facility. Albany FEMA Detention Facility. Odaville Federal Correctional Facility, near Middletown. Buffalo FEMA Detention Facility. North Carolina Camp Lejeune and New River Marine Airfield Facility has renovated, occupied WWII detention compounds and mock city that closely resembles Anytown, USA. Fort Bragg Special Warfare Training Center. Renovated WWII detention facility. Andrews Federal experiment in putting a small town under siege. Began with the search hunt for survivalist Eric Rudolph. No persons were allowed in or out of town without federal permission, and travel through town was highly restricted. Most residents compelled to stay in their homes. Unregistered Baptist pastor from Indiana visiting Andrews affirmed these facts. North Dakota Minute AFB, home of an air group. More information needed on facility. Ohio Camp Perry site renovated, once used as a POW camp to house German and Italian prisoners of WWII. Some tar paper covered huts built for housing these prisoners are still standing. Recently, the construction of multiple 200-man barracks have replaced most of the huts. Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus FEMA detention facilities. Data needed. Lima FEMA detention facility. Another facility located in Old Stone Quarry near Interstate 75. Railroad access to property, fences, etc. Oklahoma Tinker AFBOKC. All base personnel are prohibited from going near civilian detention area, which is under constant guard. Will Rogers World Airport, FEMA's main processing center for west of the Mississippi. All personnel are kept out of the security zone. Federal Prisoner Transfer Center located here, a pentagon-shaped building where airplanes can taxi up to. El Reno renovated federal internment facility with current population of 12,000 on Route 66. McAllister near Army munitions plant property, former WWII German-Italian POW camp designated for future use. Feet-Sill-Lawton, former WWII detention camps. More information still needed. Oregon Sheridan Federal Prison Satellite Camp northwest of Salem. Josephine County WWII Japanese internment camp ready for renovation. Sheridan FEMA Detention Center. Amatillo, a new prison spotted. Pennsylvania Ellenwood Federal Prison Camp located south of Williamsport on the Susquehanna River. It has a current inmate population of 300 and is identified by William Pabst as having a capacity in excess of 15,000 on 400 acres. Indiantown Gap Military Reservation located north of Harrisburg. Used for WWII POW camp and renovated by Jimmy Carter. Was used to hold Cubans during Mariel boat lift. Camp Hill State Prison close to Army Depot. Lots of room, located in Camp Hill, PA. New Cumberland Army Depot on the Susquehanna River, located off Interstate 83 and Interstate 76. Schuylkill Hayden Federal Prison Camp, north of Reading, Rhode Island. No information available. Does not mean that there aren't hidden camps that have not been found or exposed yet. South Carolina Greenville Unoccupied Youth Prison Camp, total capacity unknown. Charleston Naval Reserve and Air Force Base, restricted area on Naval Base. South Dakota Yankton Federal Prison Camp. Black Hills Nail Forest north of Edgemont, southwest part of state. WWII Internment Camp being renovated. Tennessee Fort Campbell next to land between the lakes, adjacent to airfield and the United States Alt. 41. Millington Federal Prison Camp next door to Memphis Naval Air Station. Crossville site of WWII German-Italian Prison Camp is renovated, completed barracks, and behind the camp in the woods is a training facility with high tide ropes and a rappelling deck. Nashville, there are 2 buildings built on state property that are definitely built to hold prisoners. They are identical buildings side by side on Old Briley Parkway. High barbed wire fence that curves inward. Texas Austin Robert Mueller Municipal Airport has detention areas inside hangars. Bastrop Prison and Military Vehicle Motor Pool. Eden-1,500 bed privately run federal center. Currently holds illegal aliens. Feet Hood Killeen newly built concentration camp, with towers, barbed wire etc., just like the one featured in the movie America. Mock City for NWO Shock-Force training. Some footage of this area was used in Waco, a new revelation. Reese AFB Lubbock FEMA designated detention facility. Shepherd AFB in Wichita Falls just south of Feetsill, OK FEMA designated detention facility. North Dallas near Carrollton Water Treatment Plant, close to Interstate and Railroad. Mexia east of Waco 33 miles, WWII German facility may be renovated. Amarillo FEMA designated detention facility Feet Bliss El Paso extensive renovation of buildings and, from what patriots have been able to see, many of these buildings that are being renovated are being surrounded by razor wire. Beaumont Port Arthur area hundreds of acres of federal camps already built on large-scale detention camp design, complete with the double rows of chain-link fencing with razor-type concertina wire on top of each row. Some but not all of these facilities are currently being used for low-risk state prisoners, who require a minimum of supervision. Feetworth Federal Prison under construction on the site of Carswell AFB Utah Millard County Central Utah WWII Japanese Camp. Renovated. Feet Douglas This inactive military reservation has a renovated WWII concentration camp. Migratory Bird Refuge west of Brigham City contains a WWII internment camp that was built before the game preserve was established. Cedar City east of city no specific information available at this time. Wendover WWII internment camp may be renovated. Skull Valley Southwestern Camp William property east of the old bombing range. Camp was accidentally discovered by a man and his son who were rabbit hunting. They were discovered and apprehended. SW of Twilly. Vermont, New Hampshire, northern New Hampshire near Lake Francis. No specific information available at this time. Virginia Feed AP Hill Fredericksburg Rex 84 FEMA facility. Estimated capacity 45,000. Petersburg Federal Satellite Prison Camp, south of Richmond. West Virginia Beckley Alderson Lewisburg former WWII detention camps that are now converted into active federal prison complexes capable of holding several times their current populations. Alderson is presently a women's federal reformatory. Morgantown Federal Prison Camp located in northern WV, just north of Kingwood. Mill Creek FEMA Detention Facility. Kingwood newly built detention camp at Camp Dawson Army Reservation. More information needed on Camp Dawson. Washington Seattle Tacoma SeaTac Airport, fully operational Federal Transfer Center. Okanagan County borders Canada and is a site for a massive concentration camp capable of holding hundreds of thousands of people for slave labor. This is probably one of the locations that will be used to hold hardcore patriots, who will be held captive for the rest of their lives. Sandpoint Naval Station Seattle FEMA Detention Center used actively during the 1999 WTO protests to classify prisoners. Feet Lewis McCord AFB near Tacoma. This is one of several sites that may be used to ship prisoners overseas for slave labor. Wisconsin Feet McCoy Rex 84 facility with several complete internment compounds. Oxford Central part of State Federal Prison and Slide Camp and FEMA Detention Facility. Wyoming Hart Mountain Park County and of Cody WWII Japanese internment camp ready for renovation. Laramie FEMA Detention Facility. Southwest near Lyman FEMA Detention Facility. East Yellowstone Manned Internment Facility investigating patriots were apprehended by European soldiers speaking in an unknown language. Federal government assumed custody of the persons and arranged their release. Other locations in the United States. There are many other locations not listed above that are worthy of consideration as a possible detention campsite, but due to space limitations and the time needed to verify, could not be included here. Virtually all military reservations, posts, bases, stations, and depots can be considered highly suspect because it is federal land. Also fitting this category are regional airports and international airports, which also fall under federal jurisdiction and have limited access areas. mental hospitals, closed hospitals and nursing homes, closed military bases, wildlife refuges, state prisons, toxic waste dumps, hotels and other areas all have varying degrees of potential for being a detention camp area. The likelihood of a site being suspect increases with transportation access to the site, including airports, airstrips, railheads, navigable waterways and ports, interstate and the United States highways. Some facilities are disguised as industrial or commercial properties, camouflaged or even wholly contained inside large buildings, Indianapolis or factories. Many inner-city buildings left vacant during the deindustrialization of America have been quietly acquired and held, sometimes retrofitted for their new uses. Canada. Our Canadian friends tell us that virtually all Canadian military bases, especially those north of the 50th parallel, are all set up with concentration camps. Not even half of these can be listed, but here are a few sites with the massive land space to handle any population. Suffield CFB just north of Medicine Hat, less than 60 miles from the USA. Primrose Lake a range 70 miles northeast of Edmonton. Wainwright CFB halfway between Medicine Hat and Primrose Lake. Feet Nelson northernmost point on the BC Railway line. Feet McPherson very cold territory and W territories. Feet Providence located on Great Slave Lake. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Department of National Defense Reserve. And others. Overseas locations: Guaynabo, Puerto Rico Federal Prison Camp Facility. Capacity unknown. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The United States Marine Corps base presently home to 30.